Hello, everyone, and welcome to Patrick's Book Reviews. So I realize the end of the year is fastly approaching. We're already into November, and I decided to make a little change. The first video I did a single review of The Stand by Stephen King, and I decided now I'm just going to talk about the plan for the rest of this year. So I plan on reading a few more books this year. I was just going to tell you fairly quickly what they are, and then at the end of the year I'll do a review of those books, and in the future I'll probably do more of a monthly review thing where I review multiple books rather than just talking about one book in a longer form video. All right, so before I jump into that though, firstly I wanted to thank everyone who watched my first video and subscribed or liked that video. I know it was terrible. I realized it was terrible, but I had to get that one out of the way. Hopefully this one's a little bit better. And hopefully you'll notice off the bat, I made a few improvements, I hope. Firstly, I got a microphone now. So this should hopefully sound a lot better than the first video. On the first video, I just used an external mic on my iPad. So I know it sounded really bad. And secondly, I got some new bookshelves. So there's more books in the background. That's always good, right? And then another thing, today is a rainy day outside, and I didn't want to turn on all my overhead lights like I did last time. I really hate the bright white kind of style lighting. So I just dragged over a couple of my nightstands with two lamps. So I'm just surrounded by lamps on both sides of me. And I know this is a little bit darker, but I don't know. I was just going for a little bit different vibe. I kind of like that more golden glow of light. So anyway, with all those things, I just really appreciate your feedback. If you can let me know how this video sounds and anything else, about the lighting or any other feedback, feel free to throw it at me. I won't be hurt. All right. So today, like I said, I'm here to talk about the books that I'm going to finish reading this year. Now, the first book, I'm currently reading it, and I'm actually pretty far along in this book. And this book is Stephen King's It. This book I'm really enjoying so far. It's the second book in a row that I've read from Stephen King. The other one being The Stand, of course, which I already mentioned. So it's kind of two back-to-back, really long books. They're both over 1,000 pages, but enjoying them both. So the length doesn't matter too much to me. I actually like chunkers, so it's good for me. And I know a lot of people are probably already familiar with this book, but I'll just read a blurb from the back of the book real quick to tell you what it's about. So basically, Derry, Maine, that's the town where this book takes place, is just an ordinary town, familiar, well-ordered for the most part, a good place to live. It is a group of children who see and feel what makes Derry, Maine so horribly different. In the storm drains, in the sewers, it lurks, taking on the shape of every nightmare, each one's deepest dread. Sometimes it appears as an evil clown named Pennywise, and sometimes it reaches up, seizing, tearing, killing. Time passes and the children grow up and move away and forget, until they are called back once more to confront it, as it stirs and coils in the sullen depths of their memories, emerging again to make their past nightmares a terrible present reality. So that's basically, I guess, what the book's about in a nutshell, but it's really so much more than that. But again, I'll talk about it more when I review it, and so I'm not going to talk about it much right now. That's the first book, Stephen King's It. All right. And then, as I mentioned, since I'm reading back-to-back books that are quite long, I was actually planning another really long book right after that, but I decided to give myself a little bit of a break. And so the next book that I'm reading, and you'll see a theme with the three remaining books, they're all historical fiction novels of some sort, is Bernard Cornwell's The Archer's Tale. And so this is part of a 4-book series. This is obviously the first book, book 1 of the Grail Quest, the quest for the Holy Grail. And I don't know a ton about this book. In April, I was in Bangkok, and my son and I went to a book fair, and he found this book here, which totally looks like a book that a 15-year-old would like, right? But my son picked this up, and I kind of saw it at the time. I didn't know who Cornwell was, and I was like, oh, that actually looks kind of cool. It didn't really look like young adult fantasy, which were a lot of the other books that he was buying. Then I kind of forgot about it. It was just in his bag of books to read. He bought a whole bunch of books, and he hadn't gotten to it yet. And then I saw on Red Fury Books, he had talked a lot about Cornwell, and he mentioned this series specifically, and it kind of clicked in my head, like, wait a minute, is that the book that Dylan had picked up? And obviously it was. And I realized it was book 2, and so I ordered book 1, and I was really hoping it would be the same, look the same as this one, which this one was actually from the UK. It says on the back, which a lot of books in Thailand are from the UK. But I ordered it on Amazon. Getting a used paperback intentionally, thinking it would be like look the same. But the copy I got is quite a bit smaller and doesn't look nearly as cool. So my set won't look that cool, but that's okay. I'm really looking forward to reading this series, and I hope, if I enjoy it, to read a lot more of Cornwell's work, because it all sounds really interesting. I was looking through some of the books that he's written. And the third book that I plan to read before the end of the year is James Clavell's Shogun. I think it's pronounced Clavell, and I have heard this pronounced as Shogun. I thought it was like Shogun myself, but I think it's pronounced Shogun. And again, I took a little break, or I'm planning on taking a little break between it and this, so that's why I put the Cornwell in between, because this book is also it's like 1,100 pages, so it's another big one, big boy. But I'm actually really, really excited about this one. So this is part of a series called the Asian Saga, and I think it's a 6-book series, I believe. And each one kind of focuses on a different country in Asia at a different time. I live in Asia, so that is something that's of interest to me, but it just sounds pretty cool. So basically, this one's about the epic saga of pilot Major John Blackthorne, who is shipwrecked on Japan, the most alien of shores. The novel charts Blackmore's rise from the status of reviled foreigner up to the heights of trusted advisor and eventually samurai, all as a civil war looms over the fragile country. So this one takes place in medieval Japan in the 16th century, and it just sounds really cool. I guess there's the Civil War aspect of it. Sounds cool. I guess the Jesuits are also involved, so it sounds like there's a lot going on. Sounds really cool, and I've heard I think a lot of people consider this one of the great works of historical fiction. So again, I'm really looking forward to this one. And then the final book on this list should be in the mail coming to me, and I've just been waiting for it. I was going to wait for it to come before doing this video, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. So the last book that I'm reading is another book actually from Stephen King. So I'm bookending this list with books by Stephen King. It's another pretty long one. I think it's over 700 pages. And again, I said there's a historical fiction theme after it with these 3 books. And so this one is 11/22/63. And this one is about the Kennedy assassination. And it's a speculative historical fiction. So this one involves time travel. There's a man who goes back in time to try to stop the Kennedy assassination. And that's really all I know about this one. I didn't look into it too much. I know this is one that many people consider to be their favorite Stephen King novel. And I know like The Stand and It were also among many people's favorites. So I'm kind of going with the big popular books to start off, because you never know how deep I'll get into Stephen King, so I might as well read some of the best ones first. And the premise of this one just sounds very interesting, so I'm really looking forward to that one. All right, so there you have it. Those will be the 4 books that I'll be reviewing. So first off, Stephen King's It. Secondly, Bernard Cornwell, The Archer's Tale, starting that series. third, James Clavell's Shogun, and finally back to Stephen King with 11/22/63. All right, so let me know if you've read any of those books before and what you think about them in the comment section. Don't spoil any of them for me, but I'd love to hear any of your thoughts or comments on any of those. And also, like I said earlier, any feedback in general about the video, the sound quality, the lighting, my blabbering, words I use over and over again. I hope I didn't say as much in this video. I realized in my first video I was just saying a lot, and I was repeating myself a lot. So hopefully I didn't do that too much in this one. And I will have another video coming out hopefully sometime this next week. So keep an eye out for that. I think that one's going to be really fun. All right, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.